How would you rate not the economy, but how the current administration and its economic managers have been performing?
On the inflation, they've not been performing well. And we know that, no? Inflation has gone up from 3 to 4.5 to 5.5 to 6.7, and it might reach 7% this month. Although I hope it will start going down already, no? But still, when you have inflation of 7%, that's permanent. That's already built in. You can never recover that unless there's deflation. And we hardly have deflation in our economy. That's why our peso keeps on going up. I mean, or down to 52, 53, 54, 55. And it will remain there. So they've been falling flat on their faces on that. First, in the first place, the Banco Central waited also a little too long to raise the rates. No? Yeah. Because there was pressure na wag mo pataasin ng rates. But if you don't bring the rates up, then you don't stop the extra money that will remove the inflation. So, iniwanan ng rate muna at that low level, inflation started. So they started catching up. And now they might even have to add another 0.5%, 550 basis points to the reserve rate. No, I mean that the reserve rate, the overnight rate. Now, in the matter of price of rice, bakit nila inantay na bumaba sa 2 days ang reserve ng rice? That's the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. Now, if I were senator, I would be watching that because I would watch the various economic things, and I'd always look for rice. And rice should be about 10%. No, not 10%. Should be about 5%. Because when the traders see you at 1%, they know you cannot react anymore. Yes. So tinataas ang presyo. You have to have that buffer where pag tinaas, labas. And they did not spend a single cent to produce a reserve. Yeah. They even used the money, 7 billion, to pay off the loan. I said, why you pay off the loan? That's a loan to land bank. Yeah. And that money was appropriated for the reserve price of rice.
So naubusan talaga naubusan sila ng bala to intervene in the market, especially in the lower segment. Where do you sit on that debate as to even defining the problem? Where do you sit on the debate as to whether or not there is even a supply problem, or it's just a failure to intervene?
It doesn't matter. It's always a supply problem. Always. Now, the problem with this country is that we are operating on two opposing views. On rice, one, we're keeping the price of rice high for the farmer, but there are 2 million farmers. But we're keeping it high for 105 million Filipinos also. So, who takes priority? The 2 Filipino farmer or 105 million
What's
Filipinos?
What's your answer? Who takes priority?
105 million Filipinos.
Okay, so where does that put you on tariffication?
I will give the farmer a direct subsidy.
Okay.
I'll give him direct subsidy, but I will not do it through the price of rice.
Okay.
Okay?
So you're for, so basically, rice tariffication, open up the market, let the market find its level. In the meantime, we subsidize the farmers so that they can compete with the influx of
Yes. Now, that farmer will have to be naturally competitive, because if the price of rice is too high, I mean, if the tariff is too high, like I say, they're going to put 35%, you're just going to encourage smuggling. See? So you should put it at a low price, like 15, 20%, and other farmers who have marginalized areas. Marginalized, in other words, they're not irrigated, they can go into other crops, and we can help them go into other crops. I said that 20 years ago, I was chairman of the Committee on Agriculture in the Senate. And I just gave it up after 3 years. I said, this is useless because we're always doing the same thing.
Precisely.
See?
We've been talking about subsidy and support for farmers for a very long time.
Yeah.
How will it be different if you're elected to the Senate? Are you going to propose any particular legislation
Yes.
to deal with this?
Well, this tariffication measure, except the tariffication should be at a low level. So it should be 20%, not 35%. So that there's no incentive to smuggle. If there's an incentive to smuggle, the advantage yung smuggler na naman sa presyo, no? No. So, 20% tariff, give the marginalized farms other opportunities to go into other ventures, because if you don't have water, wala itutup yung rice. Your rice will grow at 60 kabans per hectare, 70 kabans per hectare, when you should be getting about 120. So you can go into other crops, and which are probably even more lucrative, except that you just don't know how to do it, no? And then the farmers who are in the middle section, where pwede na sila pero hindi pwede, you give them money. So we give them money for mechanization, give them money for fertilizer, give them money for irrigation, and that's the way to do it. You know, I studied the...
But we've been proposing this for a long time. Again, I'm going to ask that question. How can it be different this time?
But they don't do it. They'll probably do it this time because of this...
the crisis.
This crisis. But the moment this crisis passes, balik ba na naman tayo sa old form. No, let's use this crisis now to make corrections, because this correction has been a long time in coming.
Would you have voted for Train 1?
Yes, I would have voted for Train 1, because at that time, oil was only about $50. I think, I don't know if I would have done it, but I think I would have put in safety factors. Hindi nga $80. No, that's too high. Maybe at $70, I would have said suspend the imposition of 250, the 2 peso and 50 centavos per liter of diesel. And so I guess the only way to do that now is to get Congress to engineer a bill suspending the 250 pesos per liter for at least 4 months.
On diesel?
Yes. 4 months.
So
And then put it back in. Now, in the second round, the 2 pesos per liter that's coming in January.
That's to be suspended, they
Yes,
said.
that's to be suspended. And we will see. Pag medyo bumaba na yung price of diesel, and when inflation comes down, then you can put it back in. But definitely, government will have to suffer some losses there. But then, it's better than making our people suffer such horrible losses.
you think it will be a big issue during the campaign?
Yes, I think it will be a big issue.